Hi lovelies, welcome back for another speed build. This one is actually, it's very much long overdue. I built this months ago. It was like right at the start of when I was starting like my first proper series that everyone seemed to be enjoying. It's the Rags to Riches one. And I built this because I wanted a place for our Rags to Riches sim and Upton to go to an actual place to buy things from a mannequin. And yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And yeah, this renovation, I said in the video ages ago, I was like, oh, if you want to see the speed build, let me know and I'll do a speed build. And honestly, there was a few times where I either didn't have the time to, or I would just forget. And now I actually do have time to do it. So we're going to see how this goes. It might be quite a long one. I might chop it down a little bit depending on how it goes. But yeah, so yeah, this is factory one. This is the renovation that I did to make the shop that our sim Heath, I think it was. He was a businessman that we got in the series. He's old now though. As of me recording this, he's very old in our series. But yeah, so I really like this building. I've always liked it. But yeah, I wanted to give it like my own little twist, I suppose. And also, I tried my best to keep it looking like it was from Windenburg because I think, yeah, I think old buildings like this, I think is meant to be. I think it's always good that you like keep certain elements of it. So yeah, so I wanted to give it the Windenburg theme, but I also wanted to give it a modern twist. Hence why I've put these archways in. I know they're from the Vampire Pack, but I definitely, I definitely wanted to bring in an element of like old rustic, that sort of thing. So yeah, and yeah, just put in some flooring down here, some like rocks and stuff. And yeah, the theme for this shop on the outside, I'm sure you can tell, I did try and keep it to be very like black and white to a certain degree, but keeping like a rocky theme and wood, wood panels. There is a loft bit, so like if anyone wants to also renovate this, like to do it even better, the version, my version, the one that you're watching now, has been on my gallery for quite a while if you want to watch it. But yeah, just going through, because this build is typically, it's a house, like a party house for the club, the party house people. But I love the lot. It's beautiful. It's on like the edge of a river, I think. I believe that's what it is. And yeah, I wanted to give each room a theme because our sim, Ann Upton, I wanted to make each room for like each piece of clothing that she would want to buy. I can't quite remember what this one was just yet. I'm gonna have to see what it is. I've got a feeling it might have been sleepwear or something, because I think I wanted to keep it somewhat cozy. And also there are male mannequins, but I think in the end I do take them out because you're limited to how many mannequins that you can have. Oh, and that bit there, I love that. It's like a little cubby corner from the Get Famous pack, I believe it is. But yeah, so you have a limit on how many mannequins you can have. So I had to remove the male ones because obviously at the time I wasn't worried about male sims buying the clothing. So yeah, just gonna find some wall art here. But yeah, this is definitely long overdue. I apologize to anyone who said that they wanted to watch it. I'm so sorry. I get very distracted sometimes. But yeah, hopefully this will be okay. I might be silent for like certain parts. Because this speed build, I was doing this renovation for about 2 hours, I think it was. And I've already cut out the first bit of this video because it was literally just me putting stuff down on the, like putting the different roof down and everything, which you will see eventually. And yeah, so if I go silent for a minute, don't worry, I will still be here. And yeah, we'll just kind of watch it together. But yeah, I hope you do like it. I definitely, a thing that I do, I always put lights down, but because they're never bright enough, I always put the really small saucer lights or like the ceiling lights in as well, just to give it a bit of a boost. So yeah, and each room had like a different color theme. I think this one was going to be the formal one, so I wanted it to look elegant and yeah, like formal, nice, put together, that sort of thing. Because typically, for formal, shops, you might have like a posh area, something like that. But yeah, so this I wanted to have like some dresses and suit jackets on like racks and stuff, as well as obviously the other types of decoration. I think this bit here, I think I was going for like putting the shop name and then putting like, I don't know, like a location thing. I think that's what I was trying to do. But yeah, obviously we do make some sort of change. But yeah, I think for this part, I think I was struggling to figure out how to put these windows because I didn't know what would look right. But yeah, definitely going for a big sign. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that. Good on me. Yeah, also, there were certain things that I didn't want to get rid of. I wanted to keep as part of the build because they looked pretty decent. So there is some artworks that I think we do keep them eventually. There's some of them that we do put back. Those ones on the wall on the right there, I think we do keep those. Because I'm fairly sure I was going for like a vibe of like, oh, this is like an old renovated building like it is. And yeah, I think that's what I was going for there. But yeah, the sizing up of that light there, if anyone's watched her, I mean, she hasn't uploaded in a long time, but Claire Chavon, she was the first one that showed like sizing up that light, and like I'd never done it before, but it's actually really cool. But obviously I don't think we did keep it. I think we was trying to keep things, I don't think the light was like formal enough. I wanted it to look pristine and clean. And yeah, I think my mind for this one was that old cabinet thing. And this one, I believe I was going for like painted, renovated, that sort of thing. So that's why that looks like that. And yeah, for these shelves, I did want to have certain things on the shelves. So that's why there's like some like hand towels rolled up and some like cologne, nail polish, anything that would suit the theme that was going on basically. And yeah, just kind of, if anyone wants to know like how to do that moving around thing, in case you don't know, I'm sure people do at this point, but you need to do Control-Shift-C and then BB dot move objects, and then once you put it on a level that is how you want it, you can then hold Shift or Alt, I think it's Shift, and then you can like drag it off, it'll keep the same height, and then you can then move the object you want it to go on, place the item back, and then you can shift it around to make it work how you want it to sit. So in case you didn't know, if that actually made any sense, I'm not good at explaining stuff. Definitely not. Oh dear. But yeah, I don't know if I changed some of the lighting in that room. I'm fairly sure I did see, yeah, there we go, because the corner looked way too bright. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And yeah, I think I was going for like color themes, but definitely like other types of things, like clothing themes, and put some shoes there. But just whilst we're watching this, obviously I'll chime back in if anything interesting happens. I think I'm just putting stuff on shelves right now. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of say that I am so grateful to everyone who has been supporting this channel and like the videos and like has been enjoying them. Oh yeah, and I love that thing. Although the little paper thing it's sitting on didn't sit right at all on anything. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I just want to share my like true appreciation for anyone who's like supported me in all this, and like who's like stuck around for the journey, because I've been wanting to do this for many years. I've always been a type of person to like, I watch like Lil Simsy, Deligracy, Claire Chavon when she was uploading, and like whoever else, Plumbella, I forgot what her name is, it'll come to me in a minute. Jessica? Yeah, I think it's Jessie. Yeah, I've always watched them, and I always wanted to do this myself because I've been playing The Sims. I mean, if anyone's watched the video I did with my dad, he confirmed like I've been playing The Sims since I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I'm 28 now, and that's 2 decades of playing the same game, which I know people do with other games, but with a life simulator, it kind of like, it takes over your life sometimes, because you're just so into living a world that you can't necessarily have yourself, so like for me, not to be too like dramatic or anything, but I always felt like the ugly duckling where I live, especially in school, because I don't perceive myself to be in any way forms lovely looking. And I always used to come onto The Sims to have like, what my idea of like a pretty sim would be, or to play with the CAS options and to have different clothing that I could never wear myself, or to live in situations where I like would never be able to have those things, like making rich sims. Just for an example, I don't actually want to have that type of life, but just an example of like, living a different way, which I think is why a lot of people do life simulation games. But yeah, just chiming in back now. So I'm just putting down a staircase because obviously we do have an upstairs, and I needed the stairs to I don't like the stairs just floating in the middle of the room. I like it to have like something to lean on. Hence why we've got this little, like, I think I turned it into some sort of cupboard area, which is fine, like a little staff room or whatever. And and the upstairs, it's got like a bit that you can just look down on. I'm fairly sure I put some lights in that dangle, because you get these really long lights that like they just sit so good. And just putting those there. Yeah, those I think were already within this build, so I wanted to keep those for like historic reasons. And I love that portrait right there. It's a little bit naughty, like, let's be honest, but yeah, it's really cool. And some like little side lights there, because I didn't want it to be fully lit up. I kind of wanted it to have a vibe of like Hollister or something, when like people go in, they're like, oh, I can't see, that type of vibe. But a little bit better than not being able to see, that's for sure. But back to what I was saying, I am very grateful to people who have like stuck with me and have encouraged me. Like, I never thought, like, being such a negative person, like especially about myself, I never thought I'd actually have like a group of people, and I'm sure you know who you are if you're listening to this. I'm so grateful that you've been such a big encouragement to keep doing this, and especially to so as of this point, I know it's not many, it's only 2, but to the 2 members that I have, Hunter and Debs, I can't tell you how much I really, really appreciate you. Because if I'm being totally honest, I set the memberships up because so if you've never uploaded YouTube videos before, you get like a YouTube studio section, and here I'm just trying to figure out where to put the toilets. I think I might stick to the one toilet for a while, or I do make that section bigger, but yeah, we'll see. So if you've never uploaded, so on when you're starting your channel, once you reach a certain amount of subscribers and watch hours, which I'm very grateful. Like, I reached mine, and I'm not bragging at all. There's no need for me to brag, but I reached my goals pretty quickly, and then I told my husband and my dad and and everyone else, and I was like, oh my god, like, I've reached all these like watch hours and these minutes and subscribers, and like I'm able to like sign up for more stuff. And they were like, oh, that's great, like, do it, so that's what I did. I signed up to start giving out memberships, so if people want extra content, that's how you get certain things. And I might even do like camera videos on there. I don't think I'd be comfortable with like loads of people watching them if I was to do like actual camera stuff, because like in my day-to-day my hobbies, I have 2 cameras. I've got a DSLR, I've got a Nikon, and I've also got a little compact one, which is a Canon M3, which is what I'll probably do FaceTime or like on camera videos for using with. And so we'll see how that goes. And can I just point out quickly, when the stairs go to the side and it removes the white trim edging bit, it doesn't look right in my mind, and like it's so frustrating that I will just not have it reaching the corners. Just so you know. I'm very grateful is what I'm trying to say. And I hope to keep doing this for a while longer. I'm not someone who's doing it for any type of like money gain. I'm not doing it for that, but just for the simple option that YouTube gave me the option to set up memberships, I'm very grateful. So and here we're doing like the reception area. I think I changed the counters. Yeah, because I wanted something looking a bit more, because I never know how to put these, because they're meant to be like island counters, like in a kitchen when you've got like an island and stuff. I do think that's what they're for, but when they're sat a certain way, you sometimes get the drawers on the opposite side, which is the side that a customer would see. So yeah, very strange. Unlike this, like typically you would have the counter bit on the inside, because that's where a person might keep their legs and stuff if they're sitting. And yeah, there's that. Oh, and over here we're now just doing like the main like cashier area, so we are going to be setting up some shelves soon. I didn't know what chair to put. I think I do keep some sort of chair there, but I do think, oh, and of course some curtains just to make it, you know, a bit more accessorized. Yeah, I love the colors, and yeah, I really like this vibe actually. Yeah, obviously we need to change the bricks on that wall, because it doesn't match in with the other stones. I think we change it. Do we not change it? No, I think we do. I can't quite remember. But yeah, just going to put in some lighting. And, oh, this is what I really like doing. I like doing the rising and stuff of objects. And then when you go into, like, the character mode, you can just see, like, what they see. And, oh, the dangling lights. I love dangling lights. Twinkle lights is so good. Oh, and yeah, like a fancy. So my envision for this, I'm sure you probably noticed, my envision for this was to have it be, like, kind of expensive. Like an expensive shop. Definitely bougie and fancy. Yeah, obviously got some chairs there, like to line them up properly. I wish they kind of snapped into place when they needed to. Like, I know you can do it grid by grid, but sometimes, like, for me, I don't like having my chairs directly in the square a lot of the time. Like, I like to have it on, like, a bit of a curve or a bend. Makes it seem a bit more natural, you know? But yeah, I did put those boards there. I was going to change them at one point. I think I do keep them, but I didn't know how it would look for like a fancy shop. And of course, at the bottom of the stairs, we needed some sort of like carpety, ruggy thing, just for people to stand on. Probably not good for like a slipping, a possible slipping aspect, but you know. But yeah, I think I do like that one actually. Yeah, the white one. That's pretty nice. But yeah, let me know what you think so far, because I had a lot of fun doing this. I tend to like my day to day. Well, maybe I should give a bit of a backstory on certain aspects and like how I got into YouTube, maybe, or like how I started wanting to make videos, apart from the fact that I've always wanted to do it. But I think yeah, so last year I don't know if I've actually mentioned before. Last year, for the 3 years, from 3 years last year, I was working for my dad. We was running his business. And it was a good job. We were doing well, but certain aspects definitely, like as money increased, you know, no one really had the time or money to, you know, to afford all these things, because we ran a caravan company, like an engineering caravan company. And yeah, it got to a point where it got a bit stressful, and I did encourage my dad to take a step back, so that's what he did do. Oh yeah, these aprons, those are for like the cashiers, so they can like put their aprons on. So good. And some pipe in there to keep it like industrial looking, but also modernized. Oh, and a little storage door. This is going to be a storage room, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's nice. I like the stuff we put in this, just to let you know. But yeah, so I was doing that, but I did encourage him to end things because he needed a break. I was very worried for his health, and it's been the best thing for him, I think, personally. And that's what he's been doing for like half a year. But for me, obviously I was working a full-time job Monday to Friday, with like the extras on the weekends. We were trying to run an extra YouTube channel alongside it for his business. And yeah, it got to a point where we had to take a step back. But instead of me going back into full-time work, my husband very kindly said, look, you know, we'll probably manage for a little bit. Don't worry about it. And yeah, he said, look, don't stress about it. If you want to take some time for yourself, go for it. He's been very wonderful and supportive about all this. And yeah, and then I started thinking of ways to make some money. So I've started doing like odd jobs. You know, it doesn't get me much money. Obviously, like it's barely enough to cover my bills, but honestly, it's better than nothing. is what I'm trying to trying to get at. But yeah, just put in some like wall stuff there, which is super cool. But yeah, so and then eventually, of course, I got into this. Like I was like, oh, because I in college I studied as the first year I did was art and design, but it wasn't quite for me because I thought I was going to be taught photography because that's my hobby. My like photography, well, is one of my hobbies, and it turns out it wasn't teaching me photography. It just meant that I could use elements of photography into my portfolio and my work, which was not what I really wanted. So the next 2 years of college, I did media production, which was basically like TV, film, radio. I got to work. I did a week's worth of work experience in London for a TV company, and I did research for them and everything. That was fantastic. And then whilst I was there, they offered me paid work. So there was a time that I'd gone to. I can't remember where I'd gone. I think I went from somewhere, and then I had to go on a coach with the audience members to Deal. I think it was Deal, and I was a runner there. I did the running around to give production staff papers, notes, that sort of thing. And it was one of the best work experiences that I've ever had to date. And I would love to do that again. But of course, we'll see what happens in the future. I definitely am like an amateur. I'm an amateur photographer because, I wouldn't say I'm a professional, but it's okay. It's half decent. But definitely doing all this, I wanted to explore my more creative side. So I'm sure you've seen in like other videos, I was trying to do digital artwork. Like I've done paintings on canvases, and it was like a form of therapy for me. Like, my dad needed to take a step back from his job for his health, and I did for my own mental health as well. So that's what I kind of fell into, and I started doing the more creative things. I participated in an art exhibition, which was really cool, and then I started doing I started doing digital art, so digital, abstracty, contemporary, modern art, and then found it was my mum and my nan, actually. I'm very grateful. They told me that there's a local place that was doing an art exhibition, and they were looking for locals to participate, and it was a great time. And I had my work done there for a whole week whilst people looked at them, and it was great fun. And then I kind of started making more YouTube videos because people were really into the Rags to Riches series that we were doing, which was, fantastic. And that's pretty much how all of this has started, really. I'm very grateful to anyone who's subscribed, who's liked, who's shared, who's supported, who talks, because I think at the end of the day, for my own mental health, I'm very introverted, and I don't like in-person interactions all that much. I will admit it makes me feel very uncertain and uncomfortable, I guess. Not in a super bad way, but just enough for me to be like, oh, must avoid. So actually, I will admit that's one of the reasons why I haven't quite fully gone back into full-time work. And you know what? I'm just seeing how things go with the channel, essentially. And if you're wondering, this upstairs room that we're doing now, I think was going to be the party outfit room, like a fancy party room. And just kind of making it modern, but also a little bit rustic and stony. So and again, that cabinet on the right hand side of the screen there, definitely also wanted to give like a renovated, painted vibe, which is pretty cool. And some magazines there, some drinks if you get thirsty. Or I think you can set them for sale and your Sims can buy them, which is pretty fun. But just realized I've been talking for so long, not about the build. I'm so sorry. So I guess what we'll do is we'll kind of see how it goes. I was speaking to my husband. We went over to my nan's for dinner the other day, which was amazing. And he was saying how, he's still happy for me to kind of plod along. He's a bit, he doesn't get how I'm comfortable. Because, this is the part, sorry, me cutting in. This is the part where I realised that I had to get rid of the male mannequins because, I ran out of female ones, which is what we wanted. So, yeah. So he was saying to me how, because, day to day, I never have money, never. I don't earn enough to say that I have money. I would very much classify myself as being poor right now. Just because, oh, I love that cabinet, by the way. Yeah, just because, I'll go and do odd jobs and stuff, and or like I'll maybe help my parents out for whatever they want to do, and I never have any money. It all goes on to like important bills that need to get paid, and that's it. Like, I'm in the negative. But anyway, yeah, so he was saying that he doesn't understand how I'm like, because I said to him like, oh, I'm comfortable. Like, he was like, if you're not earning enough for like pleasurable things like going out and stuff, he was like, how can you be comfortable with that? And I was like, well, I'm living cozy, because I'm like, compared to other people, like I'm focusing on myself, and I'm doing what I want to do and kind of earning as of when I need to. I should probably set myself up as self-employed, to be honest, because that's essentially what I hope to be doing in the future. I'm hoping to go back into like photography and stuff while still making videos, So yeah, I think we might be finishing up the build soon, which is super cool. I've been talking for way too long. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so we'll kind of see how this goes. And I definitely, my goal, I think, for life, like if I'm kind of just like talking whatever, my goal for like my life is to at some point make some form of film, because I love films, I love cameras, I love sound, audio, lighting. When I started making these videos, I was so picky on like my audio and the quality of videos that I was putting out. Like, I had to do loads of research to make sure that the videos that I was making were, really high quality. Audio wise, my husband, for Christmas, I think it was my husband, it might have been my brother-in-law actually, who we also live with, but he got me a really nice microphone, which is what I use. And yeah, I'm very grateful. I've had a lot of support from everyone, so yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm hoping what I'll do is, I've got some pictures going up on screen. We'll do like some screenshots, the usual. And yeah, if you want to download this build, it is on the gallery. My username is at Zofira, I think, or it might even be at Zofira YT, like for YouTube. But we'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to me babble on. And yeah, enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you next time. Bye!